Hello, hello. We have got a really good episode. We're actually excited for this one. This is our 10th episode. 10th episode anniversary.
Wow.
Thank you so much for joining us on this journey. We want to be at 100 next week. I mean, not realistic, but we got a great episode. We are talking start-sit advice for week 3 and also Hail Mary matchups. So let's get straight to it.
Welcome to the FantasyLand Football Podcast.
Hello, welcome in. It is Friday, the 25th of September. I am here. My name is Zach Savage. I am a co-host here on the FantasyLand Football Podcast. This is my co-host, Daniel Badaki. Badaki, how are you doing today?
What's good, brother? I'm good. Honestly, how you doing? Because James Robinson.
Oof.
You said it. You said it yourself last week. James Robinson was going to be the guy. I mean, I know you started him, but I must.
Oh, yeah.
All these other fantasy people that must have started him must be really excited.
Must be buzzing. I was buzzing most of the game. The thing is, the Jaguars only scored 33 points. If you don't know, we're talking about Thursday Night Football that happened last night. The Dolphins beat the Jaguars 33-13. The Jaguars only scored 13 points, which means other than 1 point, James Robinson accounted for every single Jaguars point. It was actually a dream scenario. In our league, I'm facing Joe this week, and he started Gardner Minshew, and I was just nervous because it was a great matchup. A lot of people started Minshew, and they should have because it was a good matchup.
A lot of people were let down.
But a lot of people were let down. He did not have the best game. What did he have? He had 9.2 fantasy points, an interception, and a fumble. Let a lot of people down. James Robinson did not. He came through for you. 11 rushes, 46 yards. But here's the big one. 6 receptions for 83 yards. And, of course, the 2 touchdowns on the ground, finishing with 30.9 fantasy points.
That's crazy.
What a crazy night for James Robinson.
That. Actually, no one was. That's a huge surprise. If you have James Robinson, congratulations. You got a good one.
I was not expecting that, I'll be honest. I just lost Christian McCaffrey, and I think I said something along the lines of, I'm not worried because I have James Robinson. That didn't mean I expected him to put up McCaffrey numbers when I needed him to. But, man, what a game. The Thursday Night Football matchups, sometimes you get good ones, sometimes you get mediocre ones. And overall, this was pretty much a mediocre matchup, but I'm happy. Hey, we are doing a Tyreek Hill signed jersey giveaway. The signed jersey is from Pristine Auction. We're giving it away on Monday Night Football of this week. Chiefs at Ravens. Wow. We're giving it away at halftime. We're going to announce it on our story. We always choose this at random through this really convenient app that we have. Go to our Instagram and follow all the steps to be entered. At FantasyLand Football, you can find us. Give us a follow. You can follow us on Twitter at FantasyLand_FB. And you can always, take the podcast in by watching on YouTube. If you are watching, subscribe and hit the bell for notifications. And you can always listen on any podcast platform, Spotify, Google Podcasts. We just got added on iHeartRadio and Apple Podcasts as well. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, please drop us a review. That would be extremely helpful. We've actually had around 11 or so people drop reviews, and we appreciate every single one of you. That means a lot.
That's really awesome. Thank you, guys.
Yep, and we are heading on to Need to Know news. This is the news that is happening around the NFL right now that you need to be aware of as a fantasy owner. First one is A.J. Brown did not practice again on Thursday, looking like trending towards not playing on Sunday.
Bit disappointed in that one.
It is a bit disappointing. I know you just traded for him. George Kittle. He was limited at practice. There are signs of hope for his status on Sunday. We don't know what that looks like. Hopefully today we'll get some more reports out as the day goes on. Darren Waller, a little bit of a surprise, did not practice today.
Yeah.
Was it a knee issue that you said?
Yeah, it was a knee issue. It was a bit weird. Maybe, just all the adrenaline after the game. He didn't really feel anything. 2-3 days after, he's starting to feel it. So I think that's kind of the feel that Darren Waller is going through right now.
Yep. Hopefully he will play on Sunday still. This is a big one right here. I think bigger than most people are giving it credit for. OBJ, Odell Beckham Jr., had a quote today from an interview talking about the Browns run game and Kevin Stefanski, how that offense is going to look. Very run heavy offense, excuse me. This is a quote from OBJ. He says, "I probably won't have big numbers in 2020. As a fantasy owner for OBJ, that is not the words that you want to hear from your wide receiver, is it?
No, not at all. I think he's just giving all the praises to Chubb and Kareem and how great that 1-2 punch is in the backfield for him. So maybe I think that's kind of what he's thinking about right now.
Yep. On to Jalen Reagor, a very exciting rookie in Philadelphia. He will be out 4 to 6 weeks with a broken finger. He's going to need surgery. Very safe to drop this player at this point.
Yeah.
If you have IR spots in your league, feel free to drop him on that IR. Otherwise, I would be dropping him to clear some space for another high upside waiver wire pickup. Devontae Adams missed practice, and it is quoted, doesn't look good. Doesn't look great.
No.
Frosted Flakes, they're great for week 3.
No. Frosted Flakes. Detective Adams. If you need MVS, I got him on my bench. If you need him, send me a trade offer.
Definitely. I would say this isn't looking good for week 3, if I'm honest with you. MVS needs to be on your roster if you're an Adams owner. Julio Jones, another big star wide receiver, did not practice. Are you worried about Julio? Do you think he plays this Sunday?
Interesting. Look, I thought Devontae was going to play, but they look like they're both trending on the same or walking on the same road here. So I don't think that. I think he might not play.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like he's played through so many injuries. I don't see why he stops now, but it's definitely something to monitor. Hopefully get more reports throughout the day.
Right.
Another big star wide receiver, which is trending in the right direction, Kenny Golladay, has been dealing with a hamstring issue, but he gets into limited practice for the last couple of days, and
That's
it's
good.
hopeful.
Yeah, it's definitely
It's
good.
hopeful.
I think Kenny G should be back this week. Definitely. I think he might be a game time decision, I think.
Yeah, if you drafted him, you have been very sad, but hopefully happier days are ahead. Last one, Cam Akers did not practice. Ribs are recovering slower than expected. I would say regardless, you're not starting him.
No.
So
Darnell Henderson. Darrell.
Yeah. The
Darrell
thing is, I
Henderson.
feel like any week it could be a different guy in that backfield. So
That's what it looks like right now.
that is the need to know news. Probably a lot of news coming out throughout the day. Check our Twitter as we update that. On to our segment for the day. Start sit advice for week 3 matchups. We're going to take you through 6 key matchups in fantasy for this week. Hopefully going to help you with some decisions that you have to make.
Yeah.
So Badaki, why don't you take us through the first key matchup, Patriots at Raiders.
Yep. Patriots at Raiders. I'm actually really excited about this one because I want to see, first of all, how JJ is going to perform against a great defense. Not a great defense, not the one that was like last year, but fairly better than the
Very
Panthers.
formidable.
Yeah, better than the Panthers and the Saints in the first 2 weeks he played. But anyways, over under 47.5. I'll probably take the over on that one. But must-start players on the Patriots side of the ball, Cam Newton and Julian Edelman. Those are your guys that you have to start right now.
Yeah.
I think these are both great guys. Cam and Newton went off last week. And on my questionable side of the ball, N'Keal Harry. The only reason why I say he's questionable is because, I mean, he did great last week. 8 receptions, 12 targets, 72 yards, 15 fantasy points. But can he do that week to week? You know, can he be consistent? Is Cam always going to be targeting him? If you have him, I don't know. I don't think you should start him. I will keep him on the bench.
sure.
If you need a solid flex, maybe. If you think he's going to perform, then
he's kind of in that Jerry Jeudy type range.
Yeah,
of,
exactly.
There's talent there. Can it be something we can rely on in fantasy?
Yeah, exactly. So I just don't know. I think you have to give him for me, if I had him on my team, on my roster, I would be giving him another week or two just to see if that's consistent. And obviously, I'm not starting any running backs or tight ends on the Patriots. Raiders side of the ball, obviously Darren Waller, JJ, Josh Jacobs. And that's really it on the Raiders side of the ball.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's not very hard, is it?
No, not at all. I mean, if you have Derek Carr, I mean, can he be consistent once again?
You're not starting Zay Jones, bro?
No. No.
I had to say that with a straight face.
I'm not starting anyone besides Darren Waller and Josh Jacobs. And if you think Derek Carr is somebody you should consider to start, don't start. Once again, tough matchup against his defense.
Yeah.
That's about it for me.
Yeah, for sure. Carr in a 2-quarterback league is a starter. But other than that, you probably don't start him. Going to be a really cool matchup to see. My matchup, our second matchup, is Cowboys at Seahawks. Just a fantasy superstar of a game.
Honestly, continue. I actually don't know what to say. Like,
you're speechless.
Let's be honest here. Like, we're gonna watch this game, and everyone on this team, I'm sorry to do your job, but everyone is starting. Let's be honest.
That's all we need to know. On to the next matchup. The over-under is 56. Must-start players on the Cowboys is Dak, of course, Zeke, of course, Amari Cooper, yes, of course. Questionable players. We've been talking about this wide receiver 2 role for a long time. As soon as the draft ended and CeeDee Lamb was selected, Michael Gallup and CeeDee Lamb. Michael Gallup so far has disappointed. You drafted him to be your wide receiver 2, maybe your flex play. And as of now, he's wide receiver 62.
Yeah.
Not really the average that you want. He's averaging 7.9 fantasy points a game, whereas CeeDee Lamb is currently overperforming as to where you drafted him at wide receiver 25, averaging 14.2 fantasy points a game. We talked about this last week. I said I feel like it's going to get spread around to this wide receiver core more than you will be happy with as a fantasy owner.
That's right.
And I think this week is going to be the same. CeeDee Lamb will get his targets. Michael Gallup will get his targets. I don't know that you're going to be blown away by either performance, but the harsh reality is you probably have to start Michael Gallup in a flex position if you have him.
Yeah.
Of course, if you have a better option, you don't start Michael Gallup. But rest of the season, is it safe to say Lamb is a wide receiver 2 now? Or as what I think it's too early to say anything.
Yeah, I definitely think it's too early to say. I think week 3. I think this is where week 3 you kind of find out who are the guys, who are the guys that you're going to be starting week to week. Who are the guys that you can be relying on, and if CeeDee Lamb overperforms like he's saying and gets more targets than Michael Gallup, CeeDee Lamb, from moving on forward, in my eyes, could be the wide receiver 2 on this team.
Definitely could happen. When Blake Jarwin went down, it hurt a lot of people.
Yep.
And then Dalton Schultz put up 21.8 fantasy points the very next week. 9 receptions on 10 targets for 88 yards and a touchdown. Here's the thing. I want everyone to just pump the brakes. Is he a good waiver wire addition? Yes.
Absolutely.
He is a very good waiver wire addition. However, I do think that last game was very much a game script fantasy performance. The Cowboys were down pretty much the entire game, made this ridiculously stupid comeback against the Falcons. And of course, you're going to get so many targets when your team is down the entire game. I am not starting Schultz with any confidence. Definitely waiting and seeing, taking the wait and see approach on Schultz. Great stash. The targets have to go somewhere, but don't get too hyped on him just yet. On to the Seahawks side of the ball. Must start players, of course. Russell Wilson. He's the MVP so far. Yes, chef. Russell Wilson.
Yes,
he's not
chef.
cooking. He's the head chef. Put some respect on the name. Chris Carson, currently the RB6.
Love that.
Doing crazy. Doing really, really well. We'll see if that continues. Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf. Just an amazing 4 players, I guess, that are fantasy relevant every week. Tyler
Absolutely.
Lockett is wide receiver 12. DK Metcalf currently wide receiver 7.
It's a superstar
Honestly,
team.
It is a superstar team when it comes to fantasy, especially if they're going to continue to play the way that they've been playing. Here's the deal with the Seahawks. You're going to start all 4 of these guys, and that's it. You're not starting anyone else. There's nothing else to think about. But what I'm interested to see is if either of these defenses can slow the ball down at all, because I think this is going to be a shootout. Will either defense step up? That's the kind of storyline I am waiting to see in this matchup.
Shootout for sure. I'm definitely taking the over on 56 there. Next matchup, Texans at Steelers. Man, what a tough start for the Texans. The 3 toughest defenses, best defenses in the league, some would say. Chiefs, Ravens, and then on to the Steelers in week 3. Over under 45 for this game. I think this could be an under game, to be honest. We'll see what happens. But like I said, tough matchup for the Texans side of the ball. Obviously, you're starting Deshaun Watson and David Johnson if you have him. You don't want to start David Johnson, but you have to.
I actually want to ask you a question about Watson, because there's been a lot of people in the DMs asking, what do I do about Deshaun Watson? He's been really average so far.
Yeah.
Do you start him with confidence still?
Look, right now I'm not starting him with confidence with the Steelers. I think he's a very talented player, but I think after this week, he is going to perform. He's going to be the old Deshaun Watson. Like I said, 3 tough teams back to back. Like this is I mean, if they don't have the hardest schedule in the first half of the season, then I don't know. I mean, you're crazy. But that's really tough to go against those 3 teams. Like I said, David Johnson, you're starting with. I mean, you're not starting with confidence, but you have to start him. Deshaun Watson, you're starting, and obviously, on my questionable players, it has to be Cooks. I don't trust him at all. Don't start him if you don't need to. And then Fuller. Look, I'm gonna make a massive bold prediction here. It's gonna be huge.
For Will Fuller?
Yeah, Will Fuller.
All right, I'm ready.
He's gonna have more than 1 target in this game.
Whoa. Okay.
Wow.
Judging off of his 0 targets last game, that's a bold prediction.
Bold
Put
prediction.
it on the board.
Bold prediction here. Look, you're not starting Will Fuller with confidence. Once again, tough defense. But if you have him, you might have to start him in a flex if you don't have anyone else. But I think Will Fuller is somebody that's going to be taking off later on in the year. Tough matchups in the beginning. But anyways, other side of the ball, the Steelers, obviously Big Ben, Juju, Deontay, and James Conner are your must starts. Big Ben is back. Like I said, Juju, he did have that 1 game. Expect him to bounce back. And Deontay, solid. He's probably the most solid flex you can probably have. He's in that top. If there's a list of 5, Deontay's on that list.
I don't know. Yes. No, you're right. I just don't know if I can trust him yet. It's
Fair.
like when you date a girl and, you haven't really had a fight with them just yet. Can you really trust her? You got to kind of have to get through some adversity together.
Yeah.
Is there going to be a down game? And then I don't want there to be a down game. I don't want any issues.
No.
I want this to be a beautiful relationship. But will there be a down game and I have trust issues? I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see.
I want to believe in the breakout.
Yeah, I believe in the breakout. I had Deontay. I traded him away, unfortunately. But look, Deontay Johnson, solid flex. Definitely start him if you have him. And then James Conner, you start him. You start him.
Yeah.
I mean,
you have to.
Once again, I don't personally like him because I don't like him. I like him as a player. I just don't like how he is injury risk. I don't like having players that are injury risk on my team, so I just rather not play. I mean, who does, to be honest?
Yeah, totally. No, I get where you're coming from. So those are the only players we're talking about. No one else to consider, hey, on the Steelers side of the ball.
No one else to consider on the Steelers. That's it. I mean, if you have any other questions, Chase Claypool, I think a lot of people picked him up off the waiver wires. I think it's hard. It's hard. He's kind of like a Russell Gage at the moment. Like, there's 3 top receivers on this team.
I think he just doesn't have the targets. He should not be in any starting lineup.
He don't have any starting lineup. But if you have him on your waivers, if he's free and available on your waivers, pick him up, see what he can do, and then maybe you can trade him away for somebody else. I don't know.
Yep. On to our 4th key matchup, the Bucks at Broncos. Over under is 43. Broncos are really beat up right now. Let's start with the Bucks though.
Yeah.
Must start players: Chris Godwin and Mike Evans. Start them. Don't think about it. Just start them.
Yep.
Questionable players, however, I'm going to talk Tom Brady quickly. And I think there was a lot of talk. Oh, Brady is about to go crazy. He's on his revenge tour. He wants to show everyone the quarterback that he can be. He's going to put up career numbers. No, he's not. He's actually not going to do that. It's not worked out well. And if you have him as a fantasy option, he hasn't killed you, but you've not really been excited. I personally would rather stream from this point onwards than start Tom Brady.
Wow.
Of course, if there's a good matchup, we can think about it, but I would rather stream personally. However, the reason why is because I feel like this is a run-first team. Not to the extent of a Tennessee Titans, but I think they want to run the ball well. Ronald Jones currently sitting at running back 29. Leonard Fournette, coming off a big week,
let's go,
finds himself at running back 16. You love Fournette.
I love him.
In week 1, Ronald Jones had more touches. In week 2, Fournette had more touches. I think what we are seeing is a trend, and it's only been 2 weeks, so I mean, can we really say there's a trend yet? It's far too early to make predictions.
Yeah.
But from what we can see, a very small sample size, Fournette is slowly becoming the workhorse. And if I am a Ronald Jones owner, I'm a little bit worried.
Yep.
Do you start Fournette with confidence? The only reason I do not have him as a must start, the Broncos defense is 7th best against running backs in fantasy. I am not starting him with confidence personally. What about you?
If I had Ronald Jones, if I didn't have... Look, I think a lot of people would have tossed up maybe James Robinson and Ronald Jones. And I'm sorry, Leonard Fournette.
Yeah.
I feel like, I mean, looking at it now, it's easy. You start James Robinson. But I think if I was in that position, I would have leaned more towards Leonard Fournette. If I had him on my team right now, I wouldn't start him. No, I would once again see if that consistency comes in week 2. Like I said, I think a lot of questions and like consistency plays, ideas that you had in your mind are going to be found out here in week 3. Yeah. You're going to see if Leonard Fournette is going to be that guy.
Some people might have to start him. If you have to start him, you have to.
Yeah.
On to the Broncos side of the ball. Must start players. Noah Fant. Noah, year 2 breakout superstar tight end Fant. Tight end number 7 currently. However, the Buccaneers defense is 7th best against tight ends. So, for me, you have to start him because he's the only talented guy right now except for Jerry Jeudy.
Yes,
but
correct.
Start with risk. He is a must start, but you need to know that Driscoll at quarterback, you never know what's going to happen with a backup QB.
No.
Melvin Gordon, he was on our trade for list this week. Currently running back 12. Very surprising to hear that number so far. I know it's only 2 weeks and we can't overreact. But to say Melvin Gordon is at running back 12, that's surprising as to where he was drafted.
Very surprising.
However, he is going up against. Not however, it's a plus for Melvin Gordon this week. He's going up against the Bucs defense ranked 28th in the league against running backs. You have to start him. Expect a lot of dump offs with Driscoll at quarterback. I feel like this is a great matchup. And what is a really good next couple weeks for Melvin Gordon schedule-wise. Start Gordon with confidence. However, Jerry Jeudy, I wanted so badly for last week to be the breakout for Jeudy. It didn't really pan out.
Yeah.
It may have to do with, Drew Lock getting injured. Last week, he had a welcome to the NFL hit. And it was straight to the ribs, which is what he's dealing with this week. Bruised ribs. Will probably play. I'm personally not starting him with any confidence with a backup quarterback starting. How do you feel about Jeudy? Is he in any of your flex spots?
Look, he actually might be. Because A.J. Brown, I traded for A.J. Brown, and I was hoping that he was going to be back this week. And I don't really have anyone else besides Jerry Jeudy that I'm confident in starting. So if I needed him as a flex, I'm for sure I might plug him in. I mean, I don't know, man. He's playing against the Bucs. The Bucs, I think, have a great defense. It's going to be hard.
I think the reality is that you don't feel comfortable doing it, but it sounds like you're gonna have to.
Yeah, exactly. That's the problem. I don't want to, but I have to. So if you're in my position, start him and say he's gonna do great.
That's right. Talk it up.
That's right. Let's continue with mine then. Rams at Bills. Over under 47.5. Could be a high-scoring game, but, man, this Rams, Aaron Donald is crazy in that defense, so I think he could be getting at Josh Allen a lot this week.
Yeah.
But must-starts on the Rams, for sure. Roberto Woods, Cooper Kupp, and Tyler Higbee. Without a doubt, you started with confidence. They should have a good game, I think. I think each and every one of these guys should. Obviously, Tyler Higbee went off last week with 3 touchdowns. I think Cooper Kupp
hasn't done that great, though, has he?
No, he hasn't.
But
exactly.
You have to start him. You just have to.
You have to start Cooper Kupp. And then, those are my guys you must start. Those are your obvious guys. And then my questionable players right now is that backfield. The backfield.
Yeah.
Obviously, Cam Akers, we said in the injury report, the need to know news that his rib injury looks more serious than expected. So I don't think he will play this week. Malcolm Brown has a broken finger. I still think he'll play, but he won't get the majority of that workload. I think he'll probably wear, I don't know, a glove or a cast or something. But Darrell Henderson, I think this is going to be the workhorse this week. He ran the ball great last week. It looks like he's going to be the start for week 3 right now. They don't have anyone else besides him. So expect him to get a lot of carries. If you have him, you're buzzing. I wouldn't be starting him.
We talked about this before the season started, that we felt like this was going to be a really hard backfield to gauge.
Yeah.
Obviously, injuries haven't helped, but personally, man, I just don't want anyone from this backfield.
No, Sean McVay knew something. That's why he got all 3 of these guys.
Yeah.
I don't know what he knew, but he knew that something was going to happen. And all these guys had a great game in 3 weeks so far, or 2 weeks technically, but Bills side of the ball. And look, before we go crazy about the Bills, let's remember who they played the first 2 weeks, okay? The Jets and the Dolphins. Not
great
the 2
teams.
Sorry?
Superstar teams.
Yeah, superstar teams.
You kidding me? Jets and Dolphins?
This is the show up week for the Bills. This is the week. Like I said, everything is going to be laid down on week 3. You're going to find out if these people are legitimate, and the Bills as a team, you're going to find out if these people are legitimate against these Rams. Stephon Diggs, obviously the guys you must start. Stephon Diggs and Josh Allen. These are hard to start. These are players that are hard to start, to be honest. For me, Stephon Diggs.
Especially with Ramsey.
Yeah, exactly. He's going against Ramsey, Stephon Diggs. And then John Brown, which is a massive surprise for everyone. He's wide receiver 9 right now. And I don't think he's going to keep it up. Like I said, they're going against a real team finally.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think you should be starting John Brown at all. But Josh Allen, he's going to be tested this week. I don't think he's going to be putting
Totally.
up these crazy points that he's been doing for the past 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Josh Allen.
The thing with John Brown is if Ramsey is actually going to shadow Diggs the whole game, that could be really great for John Brown.
It could.
But I agree. We've said this multiple times. I feel like John Brown is very much a boom bust player every week. You don't know what you're going to get. And it'll be interesting to see.
It would definitely be interesting. So just remember that when you're starting any Bills players, just look at the schedule and see who they played and see who they're playing. And obviously, I am not starting any of the Bills running backs. Josh Allen is still the lead rusher on that backfield. I don't do it. Don't start him. Don't question it.
Hopefully you got to trade away Singletary when we told you to.
Yeah, already. But if not, then you either hope that he has a decent game so you can sell him for something.
Yeah. Yep. On to our last key matchup. This is the Sunday night football matchup. Big game. The Packers at Saints. What a game.
Huge.
Over-under is 52.5, presented by OddsShark. The Packers. Let's talk about the Packers. They have put up 40 points in each game so far. What a great start offensively to the season. Can that continue against a very, very decent Saints defense? You must start players for the Packers. Aaron Jones, obviously coming off a crazy game, went beast mode. He is currently the RB1. The Saints are the 15th best defense against the running back, pretty much right in the middle across the NFL after 2 weeks. There's a lot of talk before the season started, especially when it came to the draft. Touchdown regression is coming for Aaron Jones, who scored, I think, 17 touchdowns last week.
Yeah.
2 weeks so far, he's got 4 touchdowns. You and I talked about this. I still think there will be boom and bust games.
For sure.
Personally.
I think so as well. I just think that we should have seen more of A.J. Dillon by now. Or we would have thought, or not even A.J. Dillon, of Jamal Williams. I think everyone was skeptical. They brought in another back. Why did they do that? And I would have thought...
Yeah, honestly, though, like with Aaron Jones playing as well as he has, why the hell did they bring in a running back with their second pick?
I think he's showing... Aaron Jones is proving himself. He saw the running back. He was like, what the hell? This is not happening. Let me work. Let me show you why I'm here.
The Packers locker room has got to be one of the most awkward places in the NFL right now. You've got A.J. Dillon, rookie, second pick, looking at Aaron Jones going crazy. And then you've got Jordan Love just sitting on the bench because they don't really need him.
Jordan Love
is probably an awkward place to be right now.
Yeah, he's probably like, why am I here? He's like, we're doing great.
Yeah.
I could have been playing somewhere else.
Honestly. Devontae Adams, you are starting him. If he plays, we're not sure what's going to happen. If he plays, you're starting him. That's as simple as it is. Don't think about it. Start him. You need to have MVS as a backup plan because it is a Sunday night football game. Questionable players. Aaron Rodgers. Most people would have him as a clear start. I want to be clear. If you have Aaron Rodgers, you are probably starting him and you need to. He's currently the quarterback 6 in fantasy.
Right outside that top 5.
We said this last week. Right outside that top 5. He will have those high boom games like he had in week 1. And he will also have low games. Last week, I think he finished as a quarterback 14. Not terrible. Not amazing.
Yeah.
Here's the deal. If you don't have a good streaming option, actually, look, if Aaron Rodgers is on your team, you need to start him. That's just the reality. Until he proves that he is not in MVP form, you need to start him.
Yeah.
However, if you're in a place where you have 2 quarterbacks, there's probably another option that you could potentially think about. I'm not saying you don't start him, just think about it. On to the Saints. Alvin Kamara going crazy. Currently the RB2 in the whole league, getting a high volume of targets with Michael Thomas out.
Yep.
Potentially the best player in fantasy right now.
I mean, RB1, RB2 going against each other. I mean, you have to expect that this game is going to be crazy and that these guys are going to go off for sure.
For sure. You are also starting with confidence Jared Cook. Yes, he only had 2 catches last week, and he got a touchdown, which saved your fantasy day. Currently the tight end 16, but the volume will be there. He is a massive red zone target. Don't panic if you have Cook. You don't need to look for a trade target instead of Cook. Start him with confidence. But let's talk about Drew Brees. There's been a lot of DMs asking about Drew Brees. People freaking out. He's currently quarterback 21. And it's understandable if you're reaching out. He's not been impressive, but I see a better game this week. Does that mean I'm starting him with confidence? Absolutely not. He is in the streaming conversation until Michael Thomas comes back.
Yeah.
I would obviously start Aaron Rodgers over Drew Brees right now. I don't know if that's obvious, but there could be potential streaming options that you would rather start.
Let me ask you a question then. Derek Carr or Drew Brees?
I think Brees, because I think that Tampa Bay defense is really good. It's all based off matchup, isn't it?
Yeah.
But hopefully that helps in some of the decisions that you need to make. If we missed any player that you want us to talk about, we're about to give you Hail Mary matchups, but send us a DM. We'd love to help. We get hundreds of DMs each week asking questions. We are happy to help. On to our last segment of the day, Hail Mary matchups of the week. Hail Mary matchups of the week. What is a Hail Mary matchup? Basically, it's that matchup that it's very risky. You just toss it up and you hope there's this miraculous play where a player goes crazy and saves your day. Yep. We're going to give you, from each of the matchups remaining in the NFL week 3, we're going to give you one player that has a Hail Mary matchup of the week. You could start him. It is living on a prayer, but that prayer could pan out. We're going to take 30 seconds and we're going to go back and forth and give you one player per matchup. 30 seconds on the clock. Badaki, start us off. Go ahead.
That's right. Look, you don't want to start this play at all. It's so hard to start him. He just got signed to my beloved New York Football Giants, and that's Devonta Freeman. Look, it's really hard to start him, but if you don't have anyone and you're struggling with all the injuries happening in the NFL, Saquon, CMC, Raheem, Le'Veon, all these things, Devonta Freeman.
Devonta Freeman, but you're not starting him.
Not starting him.
Okay, maybe throw the Hail Mary, but you've heard it from us here not to start him. On to number 2, Washington at Browns. My one player is Logan Thomas. Let me tell you where I'm going with this. Week 1, 8 targets. Week 2, 9 targets. He's going up against Cleveland, which is the worst defense against tight ends in fantasy. Throw up a prayer and see if it works out with Logan Thomas.
Bengals at Eagles. Drew Sample has to be a guy. With CJ Umanzada out, you have to. I mean, he's the next guy up. He's there. Joe Burrow obviously loves the tight end. 7 receptions, 9 targets, 45 yards, 11 fantasy points. I expect him to do more this week.
Yep. Throw up a prayer, see if it works out. Number 4, Bears at Falcons. My one player is Russell. All I do is get targets Gage. Currently wide receiver number 11. Hear that again. Russell Gage is wide receiver number 11. Week 1, 12 targets. Week 2, 9 targets. If Julio is downgraded and officially out, Gage is a fantastic Hail Mary matchup to throw up.
Titans at Vikings. Week 1, 10 points. 10 fantasy points. Week 2, 15.8 fantasy points. And with A.J. Brown still unknown, doubting to start, my Hail Mary guy is Adam Humphries. If you need somebody, Adam could be a guy.
Could be your guy. On to number 6, Panthers at Chargers. My one player, you're going to love this, Badaki, is Joshua Kelly.
Let's go.
Currently RB 23. In week 2, he got 25 touches.
Wow.
Yes, it was more than Austin Eckler. I don't think he will get more touches than Austin Eckler this week. However, my Hail Mary matchup reason is he's playing Carolina, which after 2 weeks is the worst defense against running backs for fantasy.
Jets at Colts. 5 receptions, 6 targets, 111 yards, 16 fantasy points. With Paris Campbell out, with T.Y. not able to catch a ball. And we know that Phillip Rivers loves the tight end. Mo Alec Cox has to be a guy. He has to be a guy.
Wait, so you're starting him with confidence?
I'm not starting him with confidence, but
It's a Hail Mary.
It's a Hail Mary.
Okay. On to our last Hail Mary matchup of the week. Lions at Cardinals. One player is DeAndre Swift.
Ooh.
Currently running back 27. I know the touches are going to scare you because in week 1 he got 8. In week 2 he got 10. But it's trending upwards. And Swift has that pass catching upside. Here's the key. Arizona is 27th against running backs in fantasy. Very weak against the run. I think Swift is actually a great flex play this week. Throw up the Hail Marys and see what comes down. Those are our Hail Mary matchups of the week. Sometimes you got to throw one up.
That's right.
And just pray and believe that something good's going to come down. Amen. When the blessings go up, the blessings come down.
Oh, you got to love it. You got to love the Hail Mary segment. I love it.
Yeah.
Nice little quick ones.
Yeah. Hey, did we miss a player that you want to ask a question about? Like we said, send us a DM. We help with hundreds of DMs each week. We are dedicated to helping you out. And every Saturday, we are going to post a start, sit, advice, a little story on our Instagram to answer any questions that you might have.
Yep.
But we've got a great episode coming on our next one.
Oh, man.
Obviously, week 3 matchups are upon us. I can't wait for week 3. Our next episode, we are doing our favorite segment that we do every week, straight cash and just trash for week 3 performances.
You got to love it.
I love straight cash and straight trash, or straight cash and just trash. It's actually my favorite segment. It's like your children. You're not supposed to have a favorite, but we have a favorite.
Yeah, we love them all equally, but this one we love just a little bit more.
Just a little bit more, and we'll leave it out there. We're also going to talk Monday Night Football Madness, Chiefs at Ravens. Don't forget, we are doing a giveaway. We do these every month for Tyreek Hill, a Tyreek Hill signed jersey from Pristine Auction. We're giving it away at halftime of Ravens Chiefs Monday Night Football. It's going to be announced on our Instagram story, so don't forget to enter. Go to our Instagram page to see how to enter. While you're there, give us a follow. You can also follow us on Twitter at FantasyLand_FB. You can always watch the podcast on YouTube, subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss any episodes. Or you can listen to the podcast on Spotify, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Apple Pods. If you're listening on Apple Pods, please drop us a review. Would be very helpful. We would appreciate that so much. Man, life is so much better with football in it, Badaki.
Absolutely.
I mean, is there a way we could make football just go year round?
Look, I don't know. Maybe we need to move. Maybe we need to move like at least college. You know, maybe college can be played during the summer.
That would be sick.
And then
let's make college football on the off of NFL, and then we never have to stop talking about football.
Exactly. And then the players just go straight from college. They finish their season, go straight to the NFL.
Okay, we could be onto something here.
We're on here. Call us.
Roger Goodell, hit us up. But hey, thank you so much for listening today. We appreciate every single one of you who take the time out to listen. We do not take it for granted. But we will see you, as always, on the next episode. We will see you there.
See you there.
Hey, yeah, you, the one listening to this podcast, you made a good decision today. Keep making those good decisions. You know what? Go ahead and do a little dance right now, like no one's watching. 'Cause you deserve it.